Happy Memorial Day, everybody. It's the Cabin Fever Podcast, and it's Brent Bailey coming to you once again for another great day of celebrating being alive as the official start of summer is happening today. And, you know, I know that so many folks are kind of concerned about what summer's going to look like because of COVID-19, but it is nonetheless the beginning of summer, and I know here at the Cabin Fever Studios, we are celebrating like crazy. Big cookout planned today. My parents have opened up their pool, so we're actually having a big time, swimming and what have you. So our question of the day is, what are you doing for Memorial Day? Drop down in the comments right below on any of the social media platforms and tell us what you're using to celebrate today. What are you doing? Are you cooking out? Are you celebrating with family? Are you quarantining? What are you doing? I know this last weekend was a huge weekend because President Trump actually declared all churches essential and all churches were to be open this past weekend. So that's the other thing we want to hear about this weekend, or from this weekend, is what did you get to go to church this weekend? What was it like? I know some states have already had that quarantine lifted and they were already doing it, but in some of the larger states, California, New York, if you were able to go to church this last weekend, and we'd love to hear what your experience was like. Were you nervous? Were you scared? Did you wear a mask? Just tell us all about it. We'd love to hear about it down below in the comments. Speaking of down below, why don't you just go ahead and click the share button right now and share the podcast. We have a good one for you today. We try to have a quality show for you every day, but today I've got marketing expert and branding expert Rachel Pisani, and she's going to be joining us here in just a couple of minutes. As I said, happy Memorial Day. Let's talk about that just for a minute. It is, some people just kind of remark it as the beginning of summer. This is really kind of the first wave of summer, and it kind of goes from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and a lot of folks get together and celebrate. But Memorial Day was not always known as that. It didn't become known as a national holiday till the 70s, and it was always known as Decoration Day before that. But it is a time where we kind of remember those who've gone before us and who are no longer here. And in the light of COVID-19 and with all of the frontline workers and things like that going on, this Memorial Day takes on a very special meaning for so many families across our land. And we wanted to just take a moment on this day to recognize all of those folks, say thank you so much for your service of being in the front lines at the hospitals, all the doctors, all of the nurses. Thank you so much for all your hard work over these last several days and months. And then those of you who did lose family members, at any time, it's terrible, and this is the day that we remember. But I know that today especially, we're remembering all those who went on because of COVID-19, and we are sincerely sending our condolences, our prayers, and our love out to you today. Our hearts are with you. Know that we're praying for you, and as you go to the cemeteries to pay tribute or to decorate the graves or whatever your tradition is, just know that those of us here at the Cabin Fever Podcast and Direction Ministries, we are praying for you, and our hearts are with you today. We wish you nothing but the best, and we pray that today is a great day for you. All right. So, as I said, we've got a great show planned for you today. If you've ever gone to one of the Get Motivated seminars, you may have heard of our only guest today. She is a speaker, but also a director of one of the most powerful marketing firms in the country. And she's also been featured in, let's see if I can get it up there on the screen. She's been featured in Forbes magazine, where they interviewed her. She's an expert in her field. She does branding and marketing for individuals and for companies and firms. She helps with people getting their message out there. And she's just one of the best. And that's the kind of people that we want to bring to you on the show, is people that are experts in their field, because we know that during this time, so many people have started now rebuilding their lives. Some people are rebuilding their companies. Some people are starting to relaunch into some things. And so, we're trying to bring guests on here that can help you do that. She is the founder of Rachel Pisani Marketing, and please welcome to the program today. This is Rachel Pisani. Hi, Rachel. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brent. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is a real honor and a pleasure to have you with us. We share a common friend, Dr. Dave Martin, who was on the show several weeks ago, one of our first guests, and he just really spoke very highly of what your firm does and has really how much you've helped him.
He's awesome. Yeah. Well, he's great to work with. So I'm honored to be able to work with him.
So let's just get right down to it. What exactly does a marketing and branding firm do?
We do a little bit of everything. So we help companies get their message out there, expand their audience, increase their reach, create a business development plan that would allow them to move into markets that they've never been into before, as well as utilize their services in ways that maybe they haven't thought of in the past. We also create strategic marketing plans for them. So a lot of times I'll go in and sit down and do a marketing strategy with a company or even an individual. I do it for churches, speakers, corporations, and we'll sit down and we'll take time to analyze the business, look at everything, understand it, and really put together a cohesive marketing strategy for them. You know, a lot of people like to do ads and promos and things like that, but all of the puzzle pieces don't really fit together.
And
That's
that
what
that
we
was going to be
do.
my question is what does that look like? What does that meeting look like?
Yeah, well, so a marketing strategy day, a planning session, is usually a full day, and we sit down. We talk about their business review, their social media, their marketing efforts, their services, their products, their vision, their goals, and then I really take a, a analytical approach to a strategy. I break down their goals. I take their goals, break them into initiatives. We look at those initiatives, assign resources and tools. We put a timeline together so that we have those tasks that are associated with those initiatives. And by the end of the day, we actually have a roadmap for them to create their business plan or to accelerate their business.
Okay, so if there's some folks have started to rebrand themselves because they've been furloughed, lost their job, or what have you. What are some of the key elements to redoing the image for themselves during this time?
You know, Brent, I think, especially right now, we have to look at how we pivot in life as well as in our business, right? So, small, medium, large businesses are pivoting. I went through Chick fil A the other day, and they've got a huge sign now that says family meals, they're offering chicken parmesan, right?
Wow.
Um, who would have known, right? But what they realized is families are coming home together, they're ordering out, they're trying to stay quarantined and stay at home, and it's a need. So they took what their core basic service is and repackaged it into a family oriented meal, right?
Brilliant.
We look at our businesses a lot of times and we think there's only one way of doing business. In actuality, you look at the manufacturers that are now creating masks or creating medical devices. There are so many organizations, churches especially, that have taken their church buildings and they're now Red Cross blood donation centers, and there are also food pantries and things like that. So if we can't, I would say pivot is what I say. My son
And that's
is,
that's kind of the popular word. I've heard that word several times from other
yeah,
people saying the same thing.
yeah. It is because it's true. You know, one little tweak, one little change, one little turn can change the trajectory and the end game ultimately, whether it's in sports or life or in business. And so I think we have to be flexible. And what I'm telling my clients right now is immediately you have to take a step back, number one. Number two, you've got to research what's going on. What's your state doing? What's your country doing? What are the people and your clients and your vendors doing? How's it affecting your business? And really assess the situation. And then after you assess the situation, you've got to put a plan together. And you've got to look at every vehicle that you have, every avenue that you have to get your message out there, to get your business out there, and to continue getting your business through this crisis. You don't have to just tread water. I think in general we get into survival mode, and we think, okay, well, we've got to keep our clients, we've got to keep what we're doing, we've got to essentially tread water. We don't want to just tread water. We actually want to move forward. We want to progress. So coming out of this, we want to thrive, not just survive.
So what kind of questions should they be asking their teams as they're going to build forward? Because sometimes it does come from the top down, but some of the best ideas have come from within the team as well. What kind of questions can they be asking right now?
Yeah, I think, well, in addition to questions, I think communication is key, right? You've got to communicate, whether you're getting on Zoom with your team, whether you're doing one-on-one calls, whether you're doing emails, you've got to communicate. That's key.
And
And
what?
when you're
Okay, so then what should they be communicating? Let me rephrase that then.
sure. I think when they start communicating, they need to start asking those questions like, um, what are you doing now that you weren't doing in the past? How did the processes that we had in the office now work for you at home? How can we restructure those processes so that they are working? Are our systems talking to each other? Do we need to have more touch points on a daily or weekly basis versus just a monthly staff meeting or a weekly staff call? There may be a necessity to change the frequency of our actions because we are all now remote for the most part. Coming out of this, we've got to communicate, and we've got to take it to the personal level. I think people have basic fear. They are fear of the unknown, fear of their job, fear of job security, fear of what's going to happen to their health or their family, and we have to address that fear first in order to help our employees, help our partners, help our vendors move past this.
Our guest today is Rachel Pisani. She's the founder and president and director of the Pisani marketing firm in the DC area. Rachel, you've had some pretty high-profile clients too. We were talking in our pre-interview. You were talking about how you've managed some Senate campaigns. You've been involved in a lot of big companies in their marketing. I don't want to sound like a fanboy here, but how does operating in that kind of circle, that might be the better way to approach that, how is that different for the firm as opposed to, I don't want to say a low profile client, but I don't know another way to describe that. How does the firm ebb and flow in between those?
Brett, number one, I'm a people person at heart, right? So, I mean, my background is ministry. My dad was a minister, my brother is a minister, my sister is a minister. It's just, that's where I came from. And so I grew up loving people,
Yeah.
and wanting the best for people. So I actually treat all of my clients the same. I don't look at them at different levels because at the heart, they're all the same, right?
So good.
We're all basic individuals that are wanting the same things out of life. We want to help others. We want to succeed. We want to do well. So I don't really look at it different. I mean, when I'm at the Pentagon meeting with G5 or meeting with generals, there is, I would say, an awe of wow, like all of the things that they've accomplished and all of the decisions that they've had to make. And so yeah, I think I'm probably the one that's in awe when I meet with these people.
Sure.
But I met with a Navy SEAL that had amazing stories of bouncing back and commitment and getting through some of the most awful things when he was in Iraq, and how he's persevered and succeeded through some of the most devastating things you can imagine. And you talk to people at every level. You talk to people that are struggling or have survived or have come out, and it's really incredible to see the perseverance of the individual, whether they are just starting out or whether they're 20 years into their career or whether they're a legend in our minds.
This is Rachel Pisani. She is a director of a marketing firm in the DC area. She's been featured on Fox News and in Forbes magazine. I got that up on the screen right there. Let's talk about the Forbes article. They ask you, I got to pull up the information you sent me. They ask you to kind of talk about podcasts, and so I'm just wondering if we're going to be on that list when you get to do it the second time. No,
Oh, you've got to be on that list, right? Right?
So I mean, what was the purpose of the article was to talk about the 8 best marketing podcast. Um, who were they?
So we talked about a number of them, and really it was to talk about what can people do, what can they listen to, what can they watch that they can learn from, whether it's marketing, whether it's looking about leadership. So we featured Success Made Simple, the Dave Martin podcast, talking about leadership and success and principles that people can use. And so they were asking me and my recommendation, what do I listen to? What am I watching in order to get more ideas about how to better brand and better market organizations, nonprofits, and individuals? So that's where that came from. The Fox interviews. I am a spokesperson for a nonprofit, and so we did a lot of interviews talking about victims and things that they were going through. And Fox was fantastic to feature us and to actually give us that time to talk about the need.
All right, let's talk a little bit about you for a second. Now, you're a family person. You got kids, as far as I can tell, from your social media posts. What have you been doing for yourself and your family to keep everything positive during this crazy time that we're sitting in?
Lots of Fortnite. No, do you expect that answer?
I did not expect that answer because I thought I was the only one playing with my kids online. So you just moved up the ladder even further right now.
Actually, I've never played Fortnite, but
Oh, okay.
I am all about my children playing Fortnite right now.
That's awesome. Okay, so before we leave today, we're gonna have to let our kids exchange because my kids are always looking for safe people to play with. So.
Oh yeah, yes, safe people. That's key, right?
Right? Yeah.
Always like, do we know them? Like, do we personally know them?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know them, Mom. No.
Yeah, there was somebody I met one time at school that was just in the other room saying something, and yeah. No, but seriously, I know
that idea of knowing is very different than our idea of knowing.
Exactly. So, okay. So though, but as a mom, you got you want to obviously we do that same thing. We turn our kids loose on Fortnite all the time because we want them to it's less that we have to do. But
no, I'm totally joking. I mean,
no, I get it. I get
parameters, but you got it. So I've got 3. I've got a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 14-year-old. And so they're all at very different stages.
Yeah.
And I've the last 6-7 years I've worked from my home office, and so but I used to travel and used to go to client sites and go to meetings, and now everything is on Zoom, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Zoom is killing it, and so now it's a very different dynamic.
Yeah.
What's really great is I never had time to really have breakfast with my kids. I mean, my kids got on the bus at 7 o'clock in the morning. So we would get up, we would get them ready. I'd have my coffee. I'm like, okay, did you do your homework? Did you do this? They're eating their cereal and they're out the door. Now I actually can fix bacon and eggs and sit down, whether it's a half an hour or not. And it's not about the amount of time that you have together, is what I'm finding. It's really more about the quality of the time and being present in the moment, right? I am a workaholic, so I pretty much work 24/7. I sleep with my laptop. My phone is always in my hand, and I overschedule myself. So every call I have is back to back, and I just overschedule myself. That's who I've just been my whole life. So I think my kids are actually enjoying me purposefully taking time, close the laptop, sit down. And even if we're watching a movie, today I took my son to drop off my daughter, and he started talking to me about something, and I thought, we're laughing, we're talking. When was the last time that I wasn't on a conference call while I was dropping someone off at their school and picking someone up from drama practice and going to a baseball game? Like, we were all going in different directions.
And
That was a really long answer to a
but no,
simple
it's
question.
great though. I mean, to me, I know exactly what you're saying because my kids go to school. You don't see them all day, and then when you're home, you're
Yeah.
trying to catch up from all the stuff that you had to do during the day, and it's just been a really nice to just be able to catch up and really spend time with your kids, and it's wonderful. Have you
Do you find that you're not accomplishing as much as you thought you would?
actually? No, I've maintained the same level of productivity, and I when you said it's not about how much time you spend, I totally 100% agree that it is the quality of time that you're spending together that really makes the difference. And our kids during this time have, our younger, we have 9 and 13. So our kids are almost, real close to the same age there.
Yeah.
And they, our 9-year-old has become he's not a cuddler, not a hugger. He's not against it, but he's not somebody who'll just come and curl up on you. But during this time, he's suddenly become somebody who likes to cuddle and likes to curl up on you. So,
I love that.
isn't it? Yeah, it's been really great. So, have your kids had a lot of questions or have any concerns or fears about during this time?
None. Like my kids are so fearless. Like,
Yeah.
they wear a mask. But I think and they do understand the social distancing. They haven't complained. I've got kids that are, I mean, they're logging on, doing their schoolwork. I feel like I'm their personal assistant, right? They all have different schedules on Zoom,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Mom, I have an appointment." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
It's a
Logging
crazy.
on.
I definitely don't have the patience to be a homeschool teacher. I don't know about you, but I just don't know
Yeah,
if I
like
could do it.
hats off to all those
Yes,
homeschool moms.
exactly.
I've got 3 kids. All of them are in different classes. All of them are at different levels, different grades, different schedules. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of
Well,
crazy, but I'm really proud of them. They're really amazing. They keep their schedules and they log on and they're doing their work and um, probably a lot better than I ever would have if I was 9 or 10 going through this.
okay, this is Rachel Pisani, director of the Pisani marketing firm in DC. She's as you can tell, real down to earth, a real person, not just an executive, but all about the bottom line. She's just it. This is why she's one of the best right here because she understands real life. Let me ask you just a couple of rapid fire questions, and then we'll let you get out of here. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. First question: who was your mentor? Where did you learn how to do all this?
Greg Stock was a mentor. I would say I have two. Greg Stock was definitely one, and Dave Martin's been a huge mentor in my life.
Okay, we won't tell him that you said that. So it's
Don't tell. Does he see this? Does he see
sometimes,
this
yeah, he'll
podcast?
watch. He'll watch. Yeah, so we'll see. Especially if he knows that you're
I
going to be
will
on.
tell
So.
him about it.
Okay.
But Greg was a great mentor. He owns several companies in Texas, and he really took me under his wing and believed in me, gave me a chance when nobody else would.
Awesome. All right. Are you reading anybody right now?
I'm not reading anyone right now. I'm slammed with work.
Okay.
And so right now, but I would say Mark Patterson, probably the last one that I read.
Awesome. All right. Last question. We'll let you go. If you were looking back and you were going to put it on a scale, and we don't have to go deep or anything here, but if you had a biggest mistake or regret and biggest victory, what would they be?
Oh, wow. Would have warned me, Brent. Biggest mistake or biggest victory? I think my biggest victory is probably actually raising my children.
Awesome.
Being able to see 3 little lives form their own opinions and become great in themselves and understand who they are in Christ as well as understand who they are in life. That's probably the greatest thing that I'm trying to do right now.
All right. Rachel Pisani, everybody, of the Pisani marketing firm in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for coming and being with us today. I hope I didn't make those too hard for you there at the end. We've just added that, so we just started adding rapid fire questions to the end. But thank you so much. Good luck to everything you post COVID. Hopefully, we look forward to actually getting the time where we actually get to shake hands and meet in person.
I'd love that. Thank you for having me on. I love what you're doing, and I love the message that you're getting out there.
We appreciate you so much. Have a great rest of your day, and we will definitely be in touch.
You too.
All right, that's Rachel Pisani, everybody, of the Pisani marketing firm. She is just one of the real deal right there. I mean, somebody that you just are so, you're glad to have those kind of folks around you and in your life. That's going to wrap it up for the Cabin Fever podcast today. I want to encourage you to come and be with me tomorrow. Wednesday, I have author, Pastor Beth Jones is going to be with me. She's going to be talking about her brand new book, and you'll not want to miss that. Then looking ahead to Friday, we're going to have the owner of all the Chick-fil-A's in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, Arthur Greeno. He's going to be with us. They are got some fantastic projects going on right now, and you'll want to sit and listen to what he has to say. They got great things happening. He's the holder of like 7 world records and a whole bunch of other things. Our thanks again to Rachel Pisani. If you'd like to reach out to her, there it is on the screen. She is rachelpisani.com, at Rachel Pisani Marketing on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can reach out to her, especially if you're a business owner and you're looking to rebrand yourself or to better your branding. Right there is the best in the country right there. Thanks again. Click the share button. Go ahead and reach out to us on any of the platforms that you see on the screen right there. Share. Tell people about the podcast. We love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Memorial Day. Get outside and break the cabin fever. Have a great day, everybody.